Hello everyone, this is Venkat. Hello everyone, this is Venkat. Good evening. I'm your host today on Lajja. Good evening, Riddhi. I think I can see that you have joined. Hello, anyone there? I hope you can hear me, Riddhi. Are you there? No, I saw that you've joined. I'm actually live now, but I'm not seeing any activity on the. Uh, अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है. So I keep talking because I don't see any activity. So I was not sure whether people. ठीक है. You are watching, I hope. हाँ 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 ठीक है. Because I saw that you joined and then because if somebody joins, then we know that there is someone at least. ठीक है. So it's not going to be a two-way then in that case, no? It's going to be more of a one. Okay, okay, fine. Correct, correct, correct. ठीक है. So well, yes. What I wanted to actually talk about today was um, skilling. That was the topic that is really very topical and very important for the youth, for youngsters, even for those in the middle of their careers, and definitely for women today. It is something which is very, very important. By skilling, of course, we mean every kind of skilling, which includes on the uh, job or even doing a course online. There are so many ways in which you can really skill yourself. So, skill is generic, it means improving your abilities. Now, why is it so important? Well, I can speak from personal example. If I am what I am today, it's because I kept upgrading my skills. I didn't stop at doing just a degree. And it's not just about doing a degree, it's about doing many other things, trying out many other things. The very fact that I'm doing a live video today is something that I'm upskilling. It's something I never did before. I never went live. So you've got to try it out and you've got to do it. Otherwise, you'll keep being where you were. So, as I said, let me begin from my journey about life and why skilling is important. Uh, I was in my college, rather, I was in my plus two, and I didn't know where to go. And like every other South Indian year to be more specific, my parents wanted me to be an engineer. The only problem was I didn't want to be an engineer. But in those days, it was like if you aren't an engineer, you aren't a man. So, well, I tried engineering. I tried the IIT entrance and I flunked. And when I flunked, my parents were very upset, obviously. So, I got into the BSc and I got into something which I liked doing. I actually wanted to become a doctor. I started doing microbiology. Then I somehow, I don't know, nobody guided me at that time. Nobody gave me any counseling at that time. And therefore, I was at sea. I joined some classes, but it was going nowhere. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, I just said, let's try the National Defense Academy for clicks. And well, it clicked. That's what is called destiny. Because the only running I've ever done in my life before I joined the NDA was to catch a bus. And definitely, I was more of a bookworm, as they say. I had this love for reading, studying, and getting maximum marks in school. But the NDA changed all that, and the National Defense Academy actually made a man out of me. The kind of tribulations, the kind of trials, the kind of hectic physical activity, mental robustness that it gave was something that I couldn't ever have dreamt of. And it was a total transformation. So, 4 years into the Chucky, and I became an officer in the army. Well, physically I was tough. I did everything that was expected. And then I went to high altitude also. A good stint there. Enjoyed walking in the mountains, in the snow, at icy temperatures, building bridges, building bunkers in very, very remote areas. All that was a great learning. What I'm trying to come out is that never get scared of doing anything new. Never get scared of learning. I'm still learning today. So, to cut the long story of my career short, after I realized that in the army I had spent about 20 years, and well, because of my medical reasons, I may not be able to climb the ladder that fast, I decided to get off track. And then, very rightly, I took a very good decision of doing my MBA while on a sabbatical. The army was kind to give me 2 years of study leave. I did my MBA, I came third on the course at the age of 40. And well, it was a really great experience doing the MBA with 20-year-olds. Then back to the army because I had to serve another 5 years. But I didn't stop learning. I did my MPhil, I did my MSc psychology, and I had already done my MTech. So I've done all the M's. And then, well, you might wonder, why did I do all this? Well, that was the seed that I grew. And that's how I became a professor today. So education is never ever wasted. That's one thing I would like to tell you. Skilling is never wasted. Whatever you learn will always stand you in good stead someday. Therefore, never stop learning again. Then, another little story that I would like to tell you that when I joined the college, of course, I started with communication skills, teaching communication skills in JBIMS, which was something again amazing. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. I was in Colaba that time. But then when I joined a full time, as a full timer, I realized that, I was doing both placements and teaching, and then I decided to move away from placements. And then again, wonder of wonders, another job came from in the industry as a DGM OD. And it's never, never that you ever get an offer to go back to industry after teaching. I may have been very lucky. I grabbed it with both hands because doing HR and teaching HR are two different things. So I did HR for 2 years and again enjoyed it thoroughly. Having done that, I then went on to becoming a general manager corporate relations at Universal Business School. That was again another beautiful experience. Um, then I realized the importance of skilling for our students when we were doing MBA because I was again looking after placements and I had to place them. And I realized that unless you place students, rather, unless you make your students very, very competent, you're not going to be able to place them. And therefore, again, the importance of skilling. Now, where do you skill, how do you skill, and what do you do? What is first and foremost to be done is that you need to understand who you are and where you are. That means knowing thyself, understanding your aptitude. Because just doing, uh, you know, uh, courses for the heck of it is going to get you nowhere. I did my MBA, I did my MPhil with a very clear focus. I wanted to be a teacher. Similarly, I then realized that we must know our aptitude. I'll give you another example about aptitude. There are many students, when we counsel them here and give them their specializations, they insist on doing finance. And some of them aren't even BComs. So I tell them, look, you don't even know maths and you're going to do finance. Please wake up. Therefore, it's very important that you do what you know and you do what you love. So hone your skills in the areas where you're good, where you know the basics and where you enjoy doing it. That is very important. Then understand the industry. Understand what is required in your job. Now, an HR recruiter must have very good communication skills. A salesperson must have excellent convincing skills. A finance guy must be a damn good analyst. So these are just a few basics. And understanding what you need, at which level you are, will make you understand what skills you need. So find out what exactly you need, where exactly you are, and what is your aptitude. Step 1. Step 2, keep the focus. Don't start wandering here and there. Rolling stone gathers no moss. So once you get into something, keep it into it, get deeper into it. Just remember one thing, it's always better to be a specialist today, especially in today's high tech era. Technology is driving the world today, let's face it. And therefore, we have to be technically sound. We can't run away from it. Today, even HR students need to understand HR analytics. They need to know SAP. So then, where are we heading? Therefore, it is very important to know what are the skills that you will need to be to upgrade yourself. And this is where the internet can help tremendously. Google is a great friend. In fact, Google Analytics again helps you to get what courses you exactly need and what can be good for you. Please try it out. There are hundreds of websites. To name a few, I'll give you a few, websites. If you want, you can note them down. But otherwise, they're all very much there. You can keep searching for them. I just noted them down so that I could easily, tell you all about it. Um, the first one is openuniversity.edu. Then you have coursera.org. Then you have udemy.com. And you'll be surprised to know that we have several websites in India which help us get skilled. Now, what are these, you might ask? Did you know that there is something called Fair and Lovely Foundation.in, and that focuses especially on women's courses and helping women with their careers. Please log on to it someday, and certainly it'll help you all a great deal. It doesn't have only courses about uh, being beautiful or anything like that. It's got very serious courses. It talks about how women can really empower themselves, and it is imperative that today women empower themselves in this age of, I would say, very highly competitive age. And women certainly are trying to prove themselves, and not just trying to prove, are definitely proving themselves. So it's important that they understand the importance of skilling themselves to go ahead and gain confidence. About gaining confidence, another small story on the way, a real life experience. Mm, I enjoy teaching, as I said, interacting with students, sharing knowledge, but a lesson in confidence that I want to give you all. As a teacher, at least, my experience, I was called to teach as a visiting faculty in a college, and the after the interviews went, the director was so confident that he said, "Have you ever taught international business?" I said, "No," but he insisted, "Can you teach the subject?" Probably they didn't have anyone. Probably that's why they were a little desperate. So he said, "Can you teach?" And I don't know what went through me. I immediately said yes, when I had never read a book in international business ever. I'm not a finance guy either. Having said yes, and with that bravado, it was sealed. Well, I've got to teach IB. I went back feeling like a fool, started reading books, but realized it's not that difficult. It's no rocket science. I slogged for a week, and there you are. Next week, I started teaching. And as I taught, I kept learning. So that's how it is. So you keep learning, you keep teaching people. And the best way to learn is to teach. That's how I have found it. Then you have onlinestudies.com, skillingindia.com, Teach for India. This is a venture by Shaheen Mistry. I've seen it. nptel.ac. There's a website called onlinecourses.nptel.ac.in. So there are wonderful courses on the net. MOOCs are something that are happening, massive open online courses. And you just got to go and seek, and you shall find them. So please seek them out, but be very, very choosy. Don't, you know, I'm sure you understand. There's a lot of marketing going on these days. Everyone wants to sell their courses. So be choosy, understand what is required for you. Don't get swayed by what they, you know, dress up and show you. Know exactly what you need, ask friends, and then take the course, because you might end up taking the wrong course, which might not prove useful at all. Um, then I would go on to another aspect. It's not just about learning courses, it's about upgrading your skills. So, on your job, I'm sure you could have certain on the job, I would say, at least in our college, we have something called FDPs and MDPs, management development programs, faculty development programs. So, I'm sure there would be such similar programs. There could be seminars that are happening. Please attend seminars, it'll always help you. It'll help you to upgrade your knowledge, if nothing else. It'll help you to know what's happening. It'll help you to network. It'll help you to know what's happening in the world. So never miss that chance to attend seminars and to upgrade your knowledge. Get invited, become a speaker. You'll be amazed. You'll be able to share a lot of knowledge and gain a lot of knowledge in the bargain. Now, again, about other behavioral skills. These are equally important. One is your technical skills, one is your knowledge skills, core knowledge areas where you need to upgrade, and there even companies take care of you. And certainly, a person who's hiring you will not allow you to be even considered for upgradation unless he trains you. Therefore, that is not the problem. But the problem again is behavioral skills. You have to learn them. And I wouldn't say go for courses, but certainly start learning languages, start learning communication, start learning interpersonal skills. And how do you learn interpersonal skills? By mingling with people, by understanding people. So it's not just about learning, it's about knowing, it's about being humble, being open to learning. The attitude is very important. They say learning never stops, it stops at the grade. So if you have that attitude of learning always, I'm sure you will prosper. About the government's initiatives, I'm sure you've heard of NSDC, National Skilling Development Commission, and Hunar Se Rozgar. Then you have Skill India, PM, the Yojana that the Prime Minister has, you know, PMKVY. All those things are certainly very useful, but they are more for the, I would say, um, the working class. Certainly, if you are part of that stratum and you want to upgrade, there are free courses that are being run by the government today. So just go on the Skill India site, go on NSDC. You will find hundreds of courses: plumbers, waiters, cooks. In fact, there are courses even for painters, artists, hairstylists. And speaking about women again, because this is a women's forum and we talk about women's empowerment again, there are several courses that are women centric. Like you have hospitality, cookery, baking, um, health and beauty, yoga, and several similar courses that can certainly. But again, that's what I'm saying. When you decide to do these, look also not just about upgrading your skills or maybe moving up in a company. Look at how it can help you earn tomorrow. Try to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. There are so many people here on the site who are very good entrepreneurs, and I must commend many of them. Two of them who have joined me here also. In fact, three of them I can see. All of them entrepreneurs in their own right, and I really commend their spirit. Well, since they've chosen that kind of and it's not so easy, it's all the more important for them to keep upgrading so that they know exactly what's in the market and what they can offer on the table, what they can bring to the table. So they've got to keep on upgrading. That is why it's very important again, even if you're in business, to keep upgrading. So what I'm saying is that you must look at what all sites. Oh yes, I can see that you said that I can share benefit from the links. Certainly, I can, and I have many more which I can even give you all offline if you all need it. I've got almost 20 courses. Shiros.com is one such site which you all can go on to. sndt.ac.in caters specifically for women, and openuniversity.edu, another wonderful site. So, so many sites are there which help people to, improve their skill sets. Um, I'm looking for questions. Are there any questions? You can type your questions. Well, if there are no questions, then we can certainly go ahead. And as far as looking ahead, I'm saying is a few tips I would like to give to people who are upskilling themselves. Um, One, like I said, be loyal to your skills. I believe even one of our very respected ex-presidents, Dr. Abdul Kalam, has mentioned that don't be loyal to your company, be loyal to your skills. What he really meant was that keep upgrading, keep be proud and be loyal to your skills. Be conscious that you need to upgrade and make use of your skills, whatever you have. So that is one. Be loyal to your skills. That's point number one that you must remember. Always be loyal to your skills. Know what you are. Be proud of it, and build up on it. Keep building up. That's the first step you have, and you need a lot of confidence for that. Number two, be focused. Very important again. Like I said, keep doing 20 things. You'll end up doing 2 and 0 at the end of the day. Makes no sense. Be focused. And I said again that in today's technological age, you've got to be a master of one, not just a jack of all trades. You can be a jack of all trades, but don't become a spare tire where people can fit you anywhere. Then obviously your worth is not that much. So you've got to be a master. And being a master means upgrading, going into the depth of something. Like today, we don't stop at being a PhD. We write research papers. We then get into more and more, deep into topics. Like now, we're building competency models. So we don't stop at just a student level. We go right up to a much higher level. Today, maybe we can even empower senior management very easily. And that's how we turn to consultancy, where we have to certainly train senior management, and then we become coaches. And to be a coach, you've got to be an expert. Then the other point I would like to say is, which I already told you, is look at your aptitude, see what you're good at, and hone it. Then look for resources, and not only just seek resources, intelligently discuss. Don't do it independently. While you might think that doing a great job, you might be going up the wrong tree. It's not that, again, it's not about being confident or not confident. It's about always sharing and looking at something from the other person's point of view. That's very important because we may look at it from one point of view, but then the other person can see it. The other person certainly knows you better than you know yourself. Know thyself is very good, but it's not bad to get somebody else's opinion about you. But again, don't entirely trust that opinion. Use your judgment at the end of the day. So skilling is a never-ending, I would say, uh, journey. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep seeing how you can improve yourself. And of course, upgrading is important because again, technology is so rapidly evolving today. We never knew half the things. Look at the mobile today. Um, I hardly use 4% of it. How much of Excel do we know? Do we know SPSS? Do we know any of these analytical tools? Do we know SAP? No, we don't. Many of us don't. So we've got to know it. Otherwise, we look like a fish out of the water. So, moral of the story is upgrade. Any questions? Um, I can give you some more examples of how we foster, I would say, learning and skilling for students, uh, because that is what I draw from my experience in teaching. As a DGM OD, of course, I was responsible for training the entire group in the industry in my company, and there we had trainers. We had to upgrade their skills. We had to give them certifications. We had to also ensure that they got a good feedback. So if they didn't get a good feedback, we had to then to train the trainer courses for them. So that was the kind of skilling that we did for our trainers while in the industry. Um, I've even done international certifications for my chefs when I was in the hospitality industry, and it paid off very well because our chefs were some among the best in the country. Although, of course, it cost a bomb, the company definitely took it as an investment. Um, Coming back to the teaching and especially the MBA, we today foster or encourage students to do projects. Now, that itself is skilling. Now, you might ask, how is it skilling? It's skilling because A, the student goes to the industry. B, the student interacts with the industry. C, the student uses his knowledge and his functional knowledge, importantly, to be able to solve or bring a solution for the industry. So that itself is a great learning. And then, most importantly, after doing all this, the student converts all this into a written project report, which is assessed. So the whole thing is, uh, I would say, making a student aware, assess, equip himself or herself, use his or her knowledge and skills, and then be able to find solutions and present them very well. So that is what. Thank you so much. I saw a question finally. Yes, Riddhi, does the mindset of the woman affect while she is working on upgrading her skills, and how? Speaking about women, certainly, my experience in dealing with women is that they are not really, uh, the majority of them are not very forthcoming and self-confident. I found this, probably, obviously, it's because there are more men than women in the industry, and kind of they get awed at times, and they get a little, maybe, hesitant to prove their worth. So while working on upgrading the skills, one is, am I being, I mean, will I be able to use these skills? Is there a glass ceiling? Will I be allowed to go up? Is it worth it? These questions would certainly portray on her mind. But I think at the end of the day, a person who's confident and who has that self esteem will definitely break through all this. We've seen countless examples. We've seen people who have become CEOs. You can look at Indra Nui, who's emerged from Chennai and gone on to be the CEO of Pepsi. So certainly, you can tell that lady in Lajja that today a woman is as good, if not better, than a man, and therefore there shouldn't be any doubt in her mind that she must upgrade her skills. Yes, I also know that women even today have a lot of responsibilities in the home which are slightly lopsided. Men are still not used to accepting responsibilities in the house, a majority of them. I don't say that's a rule, it's changing, certainly. I see a lot of men uh, even washing utensils and taking the baby out. But I think when it comes to looking after both home and the office, it becomes a kind of a superwoman concept. So, unfortunately, until things improve, or if you've got a really good, uh, caring, and understanding partner, it would be a problem. But then I'm sure women are fighters and they'll emerge stronger. If the intent is there, I don't think it can stop anyone from going up the ladder. There would be difficulties, but I think that makes them even stronger. Any other questions? Um, well, if there aren't any questions, all I would like to say to kind of sum it up is that the road to greatness is not easy. But today, thanks to technology, there are a lot of tools on the way that can help you. Today, there are thousands of courses online, many of them which are free. So, do take advantage of these courses. Do equip yourself, and even you won't believe it, there are courses in Marathi. I've seen them. So, I don't think language is a barrier. It's just for you to seek out those courses, to find out where it's happening, and to improve yourself. Yes, another thing, people who are in business, people who are in the industry, and people who think of moving up the ladder. I think learning a foreign language today is has become inevitable. Some of the common foreign languages, in addition to German and French, that are emerging popular these days, are even Chinese and Russian. These are uh, favorites today. There are many people who are learning Chinese today because certainly China is the number one economy today, whether you like it or not, and you've got to do business with China today or someday. Therefore, it makes sense learning Chinese. It certainly language is one thing that really can break down a lot of barriers. And the moment somebody knows your language, they become good friends. They start respecting you. So language is a big plus to be able to move up both in the industry and in business. Any other questions? Yes, I can see that Tejal, Seema have also joined. So any questions from the new joinees? Anything about a, a course that you would like to ask, where you would be able to get skilled? I can certainly help you out in that because we've been helping out students when we counsel them for their careers. So we certainly today a lot of students are taking the online courses as a means to upgrade their skills because they know that once they join the company, time would be a big uh, you know very great luxury. In fact, students who go on projects also, or rather summer and winter projects, they know how what it is in the industry. They come back at 11 o'clock. Yeah. Ritu, good question. Workshops on your page helping to empower women. Certainly, it will help. Um, I would say, as long as those workshops are focused, as long as they serve in upskilling women, as long as they are really useful in their area where they are working currently, it will help. It will give them the confidence. It will improve their skill sets. But at the end of the day, I would like to say that definitely your workshops must be great. If you could, connect and to an agency that could certify them, that would make it all the more greater and give a lot of credibility um, to the course, as well as it will enhance the confidence of the people who are doing these workshops. I'll do that. Um, I'll certainly send the links to you, Riddhi. Any other questions? So I hope that answers your question, Riddhi. Or do you need any other clarification on that? Could I know exactly what kind of workshops you're doing? Hello? Um, are you there, Ritu? Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. So, anything from Priya or from Seema who are also there? Anything from Tejal? And what about Milind? Of course, Milind, I would really like Milind to share any other experience that he has in his rich career. Fine. I believe it has certainly been a very insightful session for me, and I'm happy that I have been able to share some insights with you on skilling. Um, like I said, government sites are there. Uh, I am not exactly saying that government sites are not good enough. Certainly not. I never would ever dare to say that. But the point is, there's more variety in the in the online courses that are offered privately. I'm sure you understand that where there's more competition, there's certainly more energy, and therefore you would find better courses, uh, better variety of courses online. Things like Coursera, they'll help you a lot. So just get logged on to Coursera and look for the courses. Um, I would also like to, all the ladies who are entrepreneurs out there in Laja. There are quite a few who are running Laja. I would request you all to be able to, actually upskill the ladies who have come and make them confident. I'm sure you're doing it already, but you can empower them in areas like I said in tailoring, embroidery, handicrafts, mm, things which they can use to earn. And today there are banks who are offering micro loans, the Grameen Bank type. And certainly, I would prefer that, well, uh, the cities where things really start. But if you go into the villages where the real problems are, it would help a lot. Any questions? So, yes, skilling is a process that must be there, must be focused, and keep going. Don't stop ever because knowledge always helps. I think I'll close the session. I hope I can close the session. Riddhi, what do you say? What I can do now is I can type the sites here itself for everyone if you want. I think that'll help. Okay, we'll send it. I saw somebody else join Julie. Yes, any questions from anybody else? Bhavna, Julie. Tejan, any other questions that I can help you out with? Fine. Then I think I'll close the session. Thank you very much. It's been great being out here. And thank you, Riddhi uh, and Lajja, for having given me this opportunity to interact with you all. Good night.